I'm Tom Jordan, one of the organizers here for 1 Million Cups. We got Val in the house. We got Charlie in the house. We got, where is he? Jason's in the house. There he is. Hard to see up here. Let's see what's going on today. Wednesday, 9 o'clock, we've got 1 Million Cups. For those of you who are new, how many folks we got that are new here today or haven't been here a long time? Stand up, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Megan Palmer, and I own Escalade Sign Company. We're a new company in Daytona off Ventress.
Good.
And my name is Nelson Lopez. I'm the local business rep of Spectrum. Some of y'all probably saw me knocking on your doors. I decided to come by and see what a million companies is about. And what I hear is going to be a great network opportunity for a lot of the newer businesses signing up.
There you go. Very cool. I had somebody else. Is that it? Kristen, say hello. Kristen, you gotta say hello. You haven't been here forever.
It's been a few years. Kristen Johansson, my husband and I own Core Concepts Leadership, and we're from Port Orange.
So every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock we get together. This is an entrepreneurial setting for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs present their business, talk about what their challenges are, and talk about what their opportunities are. Feedback and ideas and comments and anything helpful to them in a safe space. So 1 Million Cups is sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation. They started right now we have about 100 chapters around the country, and literally every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock we spend 1 hour in all those locations talking about entrepreneurial opportunities. Here in Volusia County, it is sponsored by the Volusia County Economic Development. Lou Paris was here last week, 2 weeks ago. And one of the, I gotta mention this while I'm thanking him. We have papers here passed around on some of the tables. So there's the entrepreneurial competition here, the innovation, which one I got? It was sponsored by Volusia County. So if you've got a business idea, and you want to earn some money on that, get some cash to help fund it, top prize is $10,000. So you can go to Volusia County Economic Development and sign up for the Innovation Challenge. And the deadline is the 31st of this month, so you need to get in there and take a look at the application. If you need any more details, it's right here on one of these sheets. Also, they have an expo, business expo, alongside that. So if you have a business and you want to present yourself to them and some of the folks that are in that world, you can do so. Again, the deadline for that is the 31st of January. Volusia County Economic Development helps fund this, and they pay for us to be here at Cinematique Theater. Jed and his crew help take care of us, and they provide the coffee. So if you get a chance, come down here. They've got the calendars up here on the table. They've got some really great movies, and this is a great venue for us to do this in. Side note, my brother-in-law will be in town tomorrow.
Oh, comedian?
And he, yes indeed, the comedian, he is performing next door at Christy B's. Yeah. So if you get a chance, check out their schedule. He'll be, like I said, next door tomorrow night. So that should be a great time. We already have a whole bunch of folks coming, so enjoy that. It's a personal side, I appreciate that. So anyway, we're going to get started here. For those of you who are new, we do a program. We have our presenter today who's going to talk about his business, Salt Safe business, and talk about his challenges, his opportunities, and then we'll do a Q&A comment section. So we'll bring the microphone around to you. If you have a comment, idea, suggestion, anything you want to talk about with him, raise your hand, and Jason's going to be bringing around the microphone for you. So that's how it will work. And we're going to be out of here at 10 o'clock, guaranteed. So right now, we're going to have hear from our presenter. What? So we're going to hear from our presenter. Chris, tell us about your business. Come on up.
So my name is Chris Nall. I'm the managing director of Salt Safe. It's a company my wife and I started here at Daytona Beach last year. We live just over the bridge. We moved here from Washington, D.C. area. We moved here from the Washington, D.C. area. My wife's in the Air Force, stationed at Andrews Air Force Base. I was out there working, and when she got out, we had to relocate to Daytona Beach. And So we got us a little bungalow right over the bridge, and I really wanted to live beachside. So that's what we got. That's us on our front porch there. But I didn't know about the unexpected costs of living beachside. You know, I expected sandy floors and all that kind of stuff, but what I didn't realize was the maintenance costs that would come along with it. And our AC unit is breaking down. And so through some research, I find out that AC units only last 30 to 60% of their life when you're within 5 miles of the coast. Our unit was about 5 years old, and we had a $1,000 bill or replacement. So we chose to pay the $1,000 bill, but I was also determined to find out what would extend the life of that AC unit. And the guy basically says, well, there's nothing you can do. You know, that you live beachside, that's just part of it. And he says, well, you could wash it every day. That's something you could do. And I'm not that organized or diligent. I'm not going to do that. So I started doing some research, and I find out that this is a huge global problem. 10% of the Earth's population lives within 5 miles of the coast. We're talking about roughly 1 billion people. And it's a growing market as well. Over the next 25 years, they're projecting 1 billion AC units being installed globally, which is pretty big. And so when you account for the salt corrosion, that's a huge amount of lost economic, revenue for the owners of these AC units. So I wanted to come up with a solution to that problem. So I said, let me build something. And I created this product here. We have a patent pending on it. We're calling it the Guardian. And what it is it's kind of an exoskeleton that sits around your AC unit. It comes on every day with a timer, hooks up to a hose, and it washes the salt off your AC unit. And it also applies a product called Salt Away, which probably many of you are familiar with if you live beachside or you have boats or anything like that. It's been around for a couple of decades, and they use it to flush salt out of marine boat motors and things like that. And it's biodegradable, it doesn't hurt anything, but what it does is it interrupts the electrolytic bridge that causes corrosion with salt, and it rinses it away. And so and it lasts about 24 hours after it's applied. So our theory is you wash the unit every day, you apply a coating of Salt Away, and your unit has 24 hours of protection from salt corrosion, which is really better than anything else that's out there. If you wash it with your hose, you would have had that protection for that few minutes, or if you put a coating on it, which there are expensive coatings people use, they try to block the salt, but those wear out over time just like the paint and everything else, and the corrosion begins. And so that's what we've created. We have our patent pending design on it. We're working to expand globally, at some point in the future. But where we are right now is, that's my wife and I in our shop. We're building direct to consumer. We're selling on, we use Facebook leads to generate leads. And we're going out and seeing customers and measuring their units and building them to order. And then we include delivery and setup. So that's what we're doing right now. These are some units that we've installed locally. We're marketing from St. Augustine down to New Smyrna Beach right now. And these are some of the units we've put in. Where we'd like to go is we've had several HVAC companies reach out to us, which I was surprised about. I thought they wouldn't want to work with us because we were hurting their business. But we've actually had several reach out and want to sell our product to their customers. And actually Heath with Fractional Unit had recommended doing some partnership selling as well. And so that's a program we're wanting to put together right now, is to expand. So it's not just me, but we have other people out there talking to their customers and putting orders in with us, and then we'll deliver to them and they install. So that's what we're trying to get to in the near term. We'd like to open an injection molded factory at some point in like the Volusia County area that can do the manufacturing instead of us building to order. We'd be doing mass production. But our long-term plan obviously is to do some international licensing and things like that. But that's really where we're at. And then our ask is just if you know any HVAC companies or home maintenance companies or lawn care companies that might be interested in piloting this partnership program with us, please send them my way. I'd love to talk to them and see if we can work it out. So that's it.
What a cool idea for being living in Florida.
Yep.
So, as a local resident that's been here my entire life, I cannot tell you how many AC units I've put toilet blocks on to prevent this from happening. So, I think it's a fantastic idea. How long did it take you to come up with this idea? Or is it just you saw it immediately, you're like, green light?
No, I mean, it took me a little bit because the gentleman said, oh, you need to wash it every day, and I was trying to come up with a way to do that. So I built several prototypes until we found something that worked. And you mentioned the total wax, which we've had a couple of people say that, which is great. It does help the shell, but it doesn't get inside and protect all the other stuff that's in there, the fins and the coils and the pump and all of that. So where our system does.
Very cool. Okay, Chris, great job, man. Good presentation.
Thanks.
Simple, clear cut, what the problem is and what the solution is. So I've got a question for you. I saw a picture of you and your wife there in the mass building these things. Are you at the point now where have you got standard sizes that you create, or is everything still custom right now?
Well, we have standard sizing as far as our pricing is concerned. I have a salesperson that goes out and measures the unit, and then we set the price based on their unit size. But we're still building each one to order. So, sort of, but not really. We're still custom building each one.
Are you heading that way toward you can say, okay, for these units, you can use this model, so to speak?
Once I can get to the injection molding, then I'm able to do that because I can build in the adjustable legs and things like that that will allow because most of them are the same size. What we run into though is, okay, this has a line running in this way or this electrical, and so you can't work around that with our system now without custom building it. But in the future, with our plans that we have with the injection molding, the customer or the installer would be able to adjust the leg themselves. So that it would fit around,
Great job.
Thanks.
Absolutely great job. Very fascinating. So my sort of small brain here is trying to think through a few of the details of the science, because the science is what fascinates me behind this. First of all, how long has your personal unit been on there? How long is your test time here to make sure it works?
Well, it's been on since April of last year.
So 2025.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not quite a year. I think it'd be 10 months or whatever. And our units never run better. But to answer your question, it's just common sense that it works, right? If you take your boat out in the ocean, you wash off the salt water. You go fishing, you wash off your fishing gear. So I'm not reinventing a solution to that problem. We're just applying a known solution, if that makes sense.
Sure. Okay, so my two follow-up questions are there any downsides to essentially watering something daily and getting it inside? And do you have like a refill mechanism for that product you said that has to be sprayed on it?
Not that we're aware of. HVAC companies recommend that you regularly wash your unit. They're meant to sit outside in the rain and the weather, and so not that I'm aware of. Certainly not as bad as maybe the salt corrosion, right? And then as far as the solution, we have a white glove service where we'll come by and refill your solution that will last 2 weeks if you run it every day. And so, it takes a couple of you unscrew the cup and fill it up and screw it back on, or we'll come by and do it for you for a fee. So,
Perfect, thanks.
thank you.
Hey Chris, my name's Dave, we met a couple weeks
Hi,
back.
Dave, yeah.
Okay. I went to your website since we talked and so on. Standardized frames was a question he had, that was one I was thinking, because all AC units are pretty much standardized size, correct, for homes?
Correct.
Okay, so I would think that would be the easiest way to streamline the business, is to just create standardized frames and just bang them out. Now, yes?
It is if you can do, but you have to work around what's on the ground, for example. So some of them are on platforms, some of them have the condenser line coming in from the left, some of them coming in from the right. Some of them have power conduit coming in from some weird direction. So you have to be able to work around those things.
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that problem, which is the injection molding, because that will allow me to have the adjustable parts. We just send it out in a box and you put it together. Right now, we can't do that just because of our production limitations. But
So in that production issue you're having at the moment, until you get to the injection molding, do you want to sub out the production of the, let's just call it the metal units? or do you want to keep that in-house?
I would be open to subbing it out if there was a local, you know, we wouldn't be interested in going overseas or anything like that, but if there was somebody locally, we would be interested in potentially talking.
So my thought is, why not just hire a few plumbers?
Yeah, because they make $100 an hour.
That's-
Probably the obvious.
Okay, then the last question is how often do we need to replace the salt away?
If you run it every day for 1 minute, you need to refill it every 2 weeks. The 1 minute is a limitation of the timers. If you go up to a Wi-Fi enabled timer, you can reduce the time run down to even 1 second. You don't really need to run it a minute. You really just need to coat the unit. So that is a way, if you want to upgrade to a Wi-Fi timer, which we do offer, you can reduce the run time and extend the life of your salt away.
Yeah, you got work on whether it's
Hi Chris, it's Heath, fractional unit.
Hi, Heath.
I really enjoyed meeting you and looking at the, I've been coming here for years. This is probably one of the top 3 presentations that I've seen that's got the most potential.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm glad to see that you're starting to think about partner programs, because distribution is, once you get a great product out there, distribution is obviously going to be king. You didn't mention, just a question first, just let everybody know the cost, and including the installation, or just break it down as to what the costs are to the customer.
Well, right now, our cost right now is our least expensive model is $797. And our most expensive model is $1,097, and that just sizes up with the unit size. That includes delivery, setup, a quart to salt away.
So I mentioned to you, I've got a big database of all the HVAC companies in the state, which we'll talk about. They're a great, at the point of installation, that's a great place to be doing this, and they can easily amortize the cost when they're putting it in, as the cost of what an AC unit is. But as I've watched your presentation today, I've realized that once you get to your injection molding stage and you can mash manufacture, you've got that, and the customers themselves, within the unit, they can alter it. This seems like it's such a simple idea. This seems like almost like, not IKEA, but this is a self-assembly product. You might not even need somebody to put it in, because I'm looking at your product, I'm pretty sure if you give it me in a box with a set of instructions and a QR code, I can probably install it myself.
Oh, of course you could, for the residential units. Now, we also have designs, I've spoken to several of the condos and beachside that have reached out to us that have the 20 and 30 units on the roof, and those will be industrial type. You couldn't put those together yourself, but certainly this model, the residential model or the single unit model, certainly you could. The only limitation is that we can't do the injection molding yet, but once we get there, you should be able to order it on Amazon or Home Depot or Lowe's or any place and just put it together.
Yeah, the second that you can do that, you've opened up the biggest market possible with retailers.
Yeah.
Well, that and then also the subscription service to that, right?
Yeah.
So, sell the DIY or DIY, whatever, and then you have the subscription model. We come by on a monthly basis and refill your salt away. It's a good model to look at.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
My main question is, what's the expected lifespan of the product?
We're giving a 5-year warranty, but I mean, there's no moving parts other than the timer that has a valve that opens and closes. So, I think it can last far beyond that. But we are giving a 5-year warranty that if anything were to go wrong, we replace it or repair it.
Good morning, Diego Handel. So, one of the partners that you list up there is builders and remodelers. I think builders, especially now in this area, there's some huge subdivisions going up, and reaching out to them as they are building, to incorporate that and working something out with them will give you a really big market base. They could build it into the price of their homes.
Oh, sure.
What you're providing. I think I agree with everybody who said. I think it's a very useful product.
Thank you.
It's nice and streamlined and simple, which means it works.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey Chris, it's Valerie.
Okay.
You'll be a great candidate. We talked about this. You'll be a great candidate for the Volusia Innovation Hub. and with the infusion of cash, or you might even win the fan favorite, which is about $2,500. They have programs for businesses like yours at the incubator. They host it every Friday, which you might find useful, or just at least to get some information on contact. I also would like you to maybe speak to Jessica Lovett.
Okay.
She's the president of Volusia Manufacturing Association.
Oh, okay.
And I'm part of her board. I'm one of the board members, and I'd love to give you her contact, and she would be able to maybe give you the best advice on how to contact all these companies, because she has a pool of our local manufacturers, the big ones that you might hit or you might partner with. Talk to them, and I think just manufacturing this, I think it's going to be helpful for you. And I also would like you to reach out to the UCF one in Central Florida. They have a bunch of mentorship and just all of these free resources for you to take advantage of.
Okay, I really appreciate that. I would love those.
Please reach out.
I will.
And I'll give you the number of Jessica.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can't imagine having a house on beachside and not having one of these installed. It just makes 100% sense.
Good morning, Terry Kane, Tyler with DCT Advantage. Have you considered a guard or a shield around the base to prevent overzealous landscapers, the weed whackers? That's been a big problem with my air conditioning unit at my home, was the fins with the coolant were damaged and by the guys just going through destroying it.
No, I haven't thought of that. I mean, that's something you could definitely incorporate into the design, I think. That's a good idea.
I'm Lynn Talon of Life Energy Transformations. Wanted to just give you an idea for some of your marketing and partnerships.
Okay.
Your local technical colleges, such as Daytona State, Flagler Technical, First Coast Technical, all of those have HVAC apprenticeship programs and HVAC programs. So this might be a great presentation to go in and make to the students who are actually going into the HVAC industry, so that they can also tell all of the different companies
that's a great
about
idea.
this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, I love this. I think you're going to do very well. Kind of piggybacking on what Terry said is, I think you could maybe as an add-on, or this is a down the line, but create. I'm seeing it more often that people are covering their AC units with almost like decorative fence that looks aluminum, and so you could solve the lawn care issue. But I think people would be willing to pay. I think it would raise your price point up. I think your price is phenomenal. I think that's such a great deal. This could be a good add-on, maybe phase 2, to protect it, but also give it the look, especially on these higher-end homes.
Yeah, I agree. That's good advice. I like that.
All right, Chris, now I got another idea, because they're all talking about shield. So here you go, this is $1 million idea, and it's free. Adding a second layer of sprayers at the very bottom that spray weed killer.
That's the upside.
So,
Okay.
this seems like a good idea.
I'll take that.
To add to the suggestions, recommendations, I think another group that you might reach out to is the Hotel Motel Association, because obviously they represent a lot of commercial properties around here. And another idea that I thought of is perhaps contacting the insurance industry. They could give homeowners a discount if they have something like this that will prolong the life of the units and thereby save the insurance companies money. So that would be something that they could perhaps promote as well.
Okay, yeah, I like that. We've thought about the home warranty companies, and
Home warranty.
reaching out to them to offer maybe a rebate to their customers or something if they were to put this in.
Laura, isn't there a ribbon cutting for the Realtor Association?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. I'm Lori McMullen with your Daytona Regional Chamber. We're doing a joint ribbon cutting with the Porter and South Daytona Chamber and the Ormond Chamber
It's Wednesday, right?
Oh.
Tomorrow, 4 to 5 p.m. at the Daytona Beach Association of Realtors. They're moving back in a renovated space up in
Oh,
Holly
okay.
Hill. Yeah, and it's open to the public, no need to RSVP. And just a little tip, we cut on the half hour, so it's 4 to 5, but you want to get there no later than 4:15.
Okay.
I think getting your name in front of every realtor in this area is a.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Bring brochures.
Great product. I'm Natalia with Pixedas Accounting. Just amazing. The business model is good.
Thank you.
What is your competition right now, as far as if you know anybody? Because now you present the idea, the product. People probably gonna start like, well, I can make that on my own. I know you have patent pending. Are you working with the attorney?
Yes,
for?
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay. And then my second question is, as far as capital, are you looking for investors? Because I can see from this room, so many people are interested in different ideas, property managers, builders. You're gonna get, so many people interested, and where's the capital, where's the capacity for you to produce the products?
Right. So to answer your first question, there isn't really any competition out there other than there are people that do coatings and they do cleanings and they do these things, but none of those are a permanent solution and they aren't a 24-hour-a-day solution. So, if you've got to pay somebody $100 a month to come by and spray your unit off, you get 24 to 48 hours of protection out of that $100. And so I don't really consider that competition. And then to answer your second question, we've had a couple of private equity people reach out to us. I'd certainly welcome it. I'm open to those discussions. We're not actively seeking investment. We would probably need it at some point to be able to scale to the level that we want to and to be able to fully capture the global market that's out there. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. And, I don't know how to do that, right? So would certainly welcome people that do know how to do it to reach out to us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, what do this?
Anyone yes? Get their steps.
Do my little dance,
Great presentation. Sean from Bliss Beach Cafe. The one thing that stuck out when you were presenting was when somebody told you this is just how it works and how it's done. As new businesses, we get that a lot. And some of us just take it, but you quit and push through to dig around and find out, I'm not settling for that answer. So what I love is that you took something very simple and you're expanding it. So it seems like the people around here are really going to push forward and get you up and going because you took that extra step and you didn't settle for this is just how it works.
Oh, thank you.
So good job.
Thank you.
But stick to your vision. There's a lot of information, so you want to stick to your vision and little steps turn into big steps and be prepared for it.
Thank you.
We're gonna definitely see Shark Tank in your
Hi, Jed Bailey, Cinemantique of Daytona. Just was thinking about it and trying to imagine how it works. Do you have a video that you produced to demonstrate the motion?
We do have a video. I was trying to put it on here, but you can't really see the water coming out of it, so it's hard to see. But I do have video, and I'd like to work with Heath, honestly, to get some better video done that will demonstrate, because we do run into that. People don't know what it is, and so that's been one of our bigger challenges, is just trying to educate people about, hey, there's this solution, and this is how it works, and so that's a great suggestion. We definitely need a professional video.
And forgive me if you said already, how long has this product been used?
It's been on my house since April, and then we've I don't know how many we have out there now. We have probably over 20 customers right now that have been using them, and so far everyone's really happy with it.
Well, I was wondering to produce empirical data on how long the product prolongs the units, longevity, how much time you need to be able to show that you have extended the life of?
Well, I mean, it would probably be several years until we're able to do that, but to me, it's a logical equation that we have customers that live on the beach that tell me they replace their units every 2 years. I just quoted a pretty large project that they have 16 units, and they said they spend $75,000 every 2 years replacing the units. And so for us, our price to them was about $15,000. And so that's like, what is that, 3x or something on your money, 3 to 4x on your money. So that's a pretty good return on investment.
Just one question I wanted to ask, because this is such a good product. If somebody with a lot of money quickly can get to market that's going to be your competition. I know you've got a patent pending. Is that a utility or a design patent or both?
It's a utility. I believe it's a utility patent. I'm not super versed in this stuff. But,
okay, that's worth looking into. And the second one is salt safe. If you haven't already, you should probably think about applying for a trademark.
Yeah, thank you. That's good advice. I haven't done that.
Follow up to his, when it comes to the patents, to change it, it only needs about 10% change to create it new. If I put louvers on your unit, that's more than 10%. Is that part of the design patent? If not, like he said, I would talk to my attorney.
So our patent attorney has us drawing up a huge list of I forget the term that she used, but it was basically embodiment. Every embodiment that we could come up with. And so that's what we're doing. We're kind of building that mode or whatever you want to call it to protect that. We have designs that include internally built that we would hopefully be able to license to the HVAC companies in the future so that they can't come and just build it internal to the unit and then sell it that way. So we are trying our best to do that.
Well, now you got to add pest or weed sprayer to your...
Weed sprayer, yeah.
Good morning, my name is Paul. Apartment 5 in Worcester, Oklahoma. I really love your product, and I definitely can see there's a lot of need for that. You see a lot of AC issues from salt water corrosion, especially on the beach side. The question what we would have with your product is, it's a really great design that you coat on regulators or the exterior of the unit. But part of the coating itself is the environmental friendly product, I think will be most likely also promotion in the ground.
Yes, we're using Salt Away, which has been around for a couple of decades. It's biodegradable. It doesn't harm the earth at all. It's used by the Coast Guard and SpaceX and all kinds of places all over the world use this product. So it's completely safe for the environment.
Oh, I see.
Hi, I'm Tiffany from Florida with Lost the Anti-Aging Center. I was just thinking about, thinking of how long this is gonna extend the life of your AC unit. You could just, do you know what the average lifespan is for an AC unit that's not near salt?
It's 14 years, and so, we developed a corrosion risk analysis that, that basically takes your location and then comes up with an average of what your unit should last based on where you're located. And so that's how we have sort of quantified the savings, and it's a educated guess, but I do think we're probably on the conservative side because I'm giving some beachside people, I'm saying, you should get 4 years, and they're telling me they're getting 2 years. So, we're underselling our value, I think.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, you can give estimates for, this could possibly extend the life of your unit to X amount of years.
Yeah, we quantify that. If you go onto our website, we have a corrosion report. You can put in your information, and then we'll send you a report that says, hey, based on your location, you should save $3,000 in lost life with our product.
Great job.
Thank you.
So, you mentioned hooking up with a simple garden hose, but do you also directly tie into the household plumbing?
No, right now we just hook up to the hose bib. We do have a couple of projects going on right now where the hose bit is nearby, and so a plumber's gonna go over there and put something out there for the homeowner. They're billing the homeowner directly. And then we have one that wanted to hook it up to their irrigation, so we have an irrigation guy that will hook it up to your irrigation.
I'm assuming you have a strong filter on the front side.
Well, for the irrigation, yeah, if it's a well irrigation, that's what we tell you, if it's a well irrigation, then you need to have a filter on your system.
Strong filter.
Yeah, so.
Let's walk right into that chair. Oh, I'm not being fun.
Hi, it's Miriam. So far, you said you install your product in April. What is the challenges? What's the issue or the problems that you see with this product?
Well, for me, the biggest challenge that I think on the product is the reservoir that Salt Away creates is too small. 12 ounces, I think it's a little bit of a nuisance to have to fill that every 2 weeks. So we'd like to have a larger reservoir, which again, if we can get to injection molding, then we can just build our own. Because it has to mix 5/12 to 1, so we're limited on what's available to us to be able to do that. The other thing we're running into is with at least our direct-to-consumer sales, is people are saying, well, I'm gonna have to replace my AC unit in a year anyway, I'll do it then. So we've been having that challenge as far as conversions a little bit. But really that's the only, as far as with the product, there's just really nothing to go home with it,
You're full of questions today.
Yeah, I'm sorry for hogging the mic, but it's such a good product. So you mentioned, I know we've met, and I've been on your website, and I follow your Facebook page, and I see your salt air analysis thing that comes up every day. I still can't work out what the coding is on it, so I'll talk to you about that, about how to turn that into, because when he says what the salt index is today, and I see a rating, I don't actually know what it is. And you did a lot, but you said something that was really interesting just now. You talked about your risk analysis where people put in their address or their zip code or something. I've been on your website and I haven't seen that, so I think that is an absolutely fantastic lead magnet because everybody loves to do quizzes. And if I can see that front and center on your website, take the test or take the quiz, and it puts in even if you don't capture an email address or something, you capture the metadata. The second you capture the metadata, the ads that you're playing will go directly to them, and if you retarget 7 to 12 times, you will get that lead.
So the risk report is, it's just an algorithm that I built using the weather data that, the keys to corrosion and what I found in all this research and trying to save my own AC unit was that humidity and wind direction and proximity to the coast are what determine how corrosive the area is. So what we do now every day is we just have this report that runs automatically that takes the wind direction of the day, the humidity, and it assigns a risk rating based on that. And so that's how our risk report works as well, except for we do it for your address. Our risk report runs off of locations in each city that we're currently marketing to. So every day one will pop up for, say, New Smyrna, and then the next day it might be Ormond Beach, and then Daytona Beach. And so you can kind of see on our website what the corrosion risk is that day. And it's great, like if it's high, you should probably go wash your car and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you can turn that into a 2 or 3 question quiz where I have to input some data and I can get an instant assessment as to what the risk is, or something that will, disturb my thinking, you're going to have a much better lead magnet than what you currently got on there, I promise.
Well, my problem with the instant is that, and I tried to do it, and I don't know how to do this stuff. I know there's people in this room that can, but I couldn't figure out how to tell the algorithm to pick the closest coastline to assign the distance. So when the lead comes in wanting the report, we manually are assigning the closest beach because I didn't know how to program the thing to say this is the closest beach without doing a huge lift. And so that's one of my holdups, but I know somebody that could probably fix that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can collect that data for each area, and then you can put it into an algorithm that basically shows a map with different color gradients of how corrosive it is over time. but you would probably have to collect, 2 or 3 months. You could start off really simple and it would be, plus or minus 10%, and get it down to something like plus or minus 2%.
Okay.
But it's not that difficult. The hardest part is going to be collecting all the data from all the various points, putting it into a database, which is not that big a deal, and then converting it into a picture that makes it easy for somebody who's not technical to look at and go, oh, I'm in the green zone, so I better,
Right, that's a great idea. Yeah, I like that.
Anybody else? I'm working my way around, I promise.
At this point, what's your hang-up, sales or production?
Production.
So I just want you to know, I think I sold you a few units, like, since we've been sitting here.
Thank you.
So, I'll take my commission later. But out of total curiosity, what's your background? You told us your wife was an Air Force veteran, but what's your background and what got
I've
you?
been a serial entrepreneur most of my life, and but I've always working for myself, just a job, right? Like, I've done a lot of different things. I've done development and building, and I met her in DC. I was doing security. I was doing executive protection there, and that's how I met her. And so nothing to do with HVAC units, but
I'm always fascinated to see how people find themselves in a niche, so thank you.
I have to say, I thought he was going to say serial killer. All right, so I think we are wrapped up on questions. I got to tell you, fabulous presentation, and the fact that I didn't hear one bit of negative feedback, you're really onto something there, Chris. I think it's very good. So I think you already know the answer, but we always ask, what can one MC do for you in Salt Safe to help you move forward?
well, I think educating people that there's a solution. I mean, we're having a big lift cost-wise to educate people that we have this, and then sharing, if you know anyone that would want to partner pilot the installation setup. I think that's probably our best thing we could do.
I think you have about 27 miles of residents right here that everyone that need one of these on their house. So once again, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And now, how